Hello, my name is Bob. Welcome to a short stop on pool.
That was a long time ago, several years ago. That's the intro that used when I first started making these Rack of the Week videos. We're going to do a retro review. I'm going to review Rack of the Week number 2 this week. I'm going to do a reaction to it. On the screen, you see my name of my supporters on Patreon and YouTube. Thank you very much for your support. You're going to want to head over to Shortstop on Pool and check out my stuff, especially my Straight Pool book. This is appropriate this week because it's been about 5 years that I released my book, A Shortstop on Straight Pool, and it still sells today. It's a great book, if I don't say so myself. It's a book that was written for intermediate to advanced players. It's not meant for beginners, and so I was able to really attack the subject of straight pool in depth. And in the intervening years, I've been meaning to write a sequel to that book because I've learned a lot since then. And when I wrote that book, I think I had like 13 centuries, and since then I've tripled that number, and I've been meaning to want to write a follow-up to that book. Well, this summer I went and spent a week with John Schmidt, and I learned how to play straight pool literally the right way. I learned what I didn't know, which was more than I thought. And in the intervening months, I've put together a video course, how to play straight pool the right way. And I coined the phrase for the technique, leapfrog locksmith. This Thursday, it's going to be available on my website. It's not a book. It's a video course, so there's no shipping. If you purchase it, it's instantly available for you to watch right then and there. And as a bonus, included with the course is my rack-by-rack analysis of John Schmidt's 626 run, including statistics that explain what's going on and track the numbers. And in addition to that, you're also going to get to watch the unedited 626 ball run with commentary by John Schmidt and Jerry McWhorter. So that's going to be available this Thursday. You'll hear more about it on my channel. So now I'm looking at this Rack of the Week number 2, which was several years ago, from an entirely new perspective. What have I learned since then? What has changed?
My cue ball is just inside of
Table 7 at the Felt Pool Hall in Denver.
Inside angle, and I'm hitting the rack ball in the center or low, so I decided to just use a low cue ball, get the cue ball to the side.
Yeah, I would probably break that exactly the same way. Below center, you saw the cue ball had inside spin. Got a real good spread on these balls.
You really can't ask for more from a rack of straight pool. This is a great layout. There's probably a dozen different ways to run these balls, but this camera angle is a little bit low, so let's take a look at an overhead view, and I'll talk through what I see from this rack and how I plan to go about running it. The first step is always identify potential break balls. The 9-ball.
Yep, identify potential break balls. I hit pause. I want to take a look at that before I let myself talk. This is a really wide open spread, so there's no trouble balls. Got a shooting gallery here into this pocket. We got to remove these balls first. 9 ball is probably the break ball. This is a key ball. It's okay. We'd like it if it was up higher, but we got to use it here. Now, if that's the key ball, then this ball right here is your K2. So I can see a situation where we want to clear the lower balls, then use this ball into the side pocket probably to get on the 15, and then it's easy to get back down for this ball. The other thing I see is, we need to remove these balls. That means we need our cue ball up here. That's a really small zone to land in. For that reason, I think I might want to actually shoot the 13 first. Oh, wait. Well, you could shoot the 13 and just gently tap these balls. You might even make a better break ball, and then your cue ball is going to be on the 3-5. I actually saw something else, though. Why not shoot the 7? Just get it out. Shoot the 7, then you have a better angle on the 13 to slide up here with a little bit more control. You could do it by bumping these or without bumping them, and then it's going to be easy to eliminate these. Yeah, then probably you could slide, once you do that, from those you could slide up to the 12. Then you have an angle on the 14 to come 2 rails like this and land on your shooting gallery. And it's easy to shoot those 3, get up on this ball. Well, actually, yeah, we could do that. I don't have a great K2. You'd want to probably leave the 11, because then you transition from these balls up to the 15, either up that way or this way. But you need to get this angle on the 15 so you can go here and here. Now you have the 11 is your pivot ball, and then you're right on your key ball. So that's one possibility. Let me see what I say.
Probably the 7 is the best key 2 ball.
Okay, we're in line
That
so
doesn't
far.
mean that I'm going to commit to those right now, but at least I know that the possibility is there. I might be best to try and run this rack without running into another ball, if possible. It won't
That's
be
a
the
real
end of the
good
road
goal.
if we have to, but I only want to run into another ball for a good reason. So let's take a look at how I might begin running this rack. First, I want to identify any trouble balls, and the 15 is the closest thing I've got. Really not much trouble.
I've changed since then. I don't look for trouble balls anymore. I mean, I look for trouble balls, but I don't call them trouble. It's kind of a change in attitude is really all it is. But there isn't any trouble. You're using the layout of the balls to create a pattern to get on your break shot. So whether you classify them as trouble balls or not, you have to play position, and sometimes you have to bump into balls. It's just a change in attitude. Don't consider them to be trouble. You're simply using your skills as a straight pool player to create shots and open lanes, open paths to pockets, etc.
So I have a shot on the 14 right now, but if I don't shoot it, then I'm really looking at the 13 and 14, both going in the lower right corner. And that's really what I see as the key to the rack. And the thing that I decide is to use the 12 ball as a connector. The 12 ball is going to set.
Okay, that's a fair plan, but this messes me up because I try to get the cue ball up here. And if you rewatch the rack, go to my channel and watch Rack of the Week 2. I don't get there. You're trying to get a straight in shot on the 12 to get on these balls. That's not a good idea. You need to deal with these balls sooner, I think. And if the 13 ball doesn't pass the 14, well, then you shoot the 7 up in the upper corner and you just slide your cue ball like right here. Then you can shoot the 5. Then you can just go to the rail and off, and then you're straight in on your 12, and now you've eliminated one of these balls. I think that's a lot better pattern.
I don't see any negative with removing the 7 ball now. Plus, I can move my cue ball to center table. And when you've got so many options, center table is a great place to be. You can evaluate.
No, I don't have so many options. The cue ball in the center table, like here, you're going to have a shot on the 15, and that's about it. And if you watch this back, that is what I shoot. That's a bad idea. I don't like that. It is correct to move the cue ball to center table when you've got several shots open to the corner pockets. Then it's okay. But otherwise, you want to play specific position. I think going to the center table off the 7 is a huge mistake. You just need to slide forward and shoot that 5. I can tell my fundamentals have changed a lot since then, too, for the better. You can tell on this shot, I'm shooting the 7. You can see where my elbow is, like wrist to elbow, and then elbow to shoulder. I mean, my arm is bent. Why am I doing that? I know at table 7 at Felt, there's tons of room at this end of the table for me. If I was shooting that today, my arm would be straight. Much better fundamentals today.
So this is the time to remove the up table ball. And
yeah, I could have predicted that, and that's the reason why that's a bad choice. That 15 was going to be your only shot. Very unlikely that you're going to land in this little window on the 12 or roll forward far enough to get straight in on the 12 here, unless if you really made a conscious effort to do that and not just a general center table position.
Well, I got a shot on the 12 ball, but it's not the angle I wanted.
Yeah, and this is a cardinal rule of straight pull. This is probably in the top 5, certainly in the top 10. You don't want to play position where your cue ball lands on the rail. Then you got a cue over the rail. You lose the option. A lot of position options. That's a big no-no. You don't want to do that. I'd rather ease the 15 in and just come back here to shoot the 6 in the corner than try to play position over here. Unless I'm certain that I can get there. If I can certain that I can play the speed control to come either to here or to this rail and off, which is a lot of cue ball movement. And that's another reason why this is a bad way to begin the rack.
I had 2 chances to get on the 12 ball before I did, and I failed both times.
Well, and the reason why I failed getting on the 12 ball is because I didn't choose the easy way, which was to shoot the 5 and just slide over there. This pattern is going to work out. I'm going to get on the break shot. And it kind of looks okay because I've eliminated an up table ball and these 2 balls, and now all the balls are down here. And that's the only reason why that's working is because they're pretty wide open.
This is really a bread and butter shot, getting an inside angle on a low ball so that you can move the cue ball into the center of the table, oftentimes to re-break the rack or to open clusters. So
now that's a really true statement. An inside angle on a ball that's near the short rail that you can send the cue ball up table and do some work. That is a bread and butter shot. Now, in this shot, I'm going to shoot the 13, and I sure hope that I'm going to let the cue ball run into the 4 as lightly as I can to just tap it a little bit over here to make a break ball. The cue ball will probably tap the 1 up here. That'll open up this bottom corner pocket for the 11, and then I'll have position on the 5 or the 3 that way. Let's hope that's what
let's
I do.
See how that works out.
Oh, that's pretty good. We're all right with that. Now that opened up a key ball in the 1 ball for the 4.
Real gently, both because I have an insurance balls with the 3 and the 5, and I hope that the 4 or the 1 would become a better break shot. So that worked out really well, and at this point the rack is solved. That means there's no trouble balls at all.
Don't think like that anymore. I used to think that there was a dividing point in the middle of a rack where a rack solved versus not solved. And you don't want to think that way, because if you think that there are problems to be solved, then once you solve them, you can relax. And that's not true. You can't relax. You need to stay in the same mindset throughout the entire rack. So they aren't problems to be solved. It's simply shots that you play with position to rearrange the balls, to not just to open them. That's not the point. You're rearranging them to create the pattern you want so that you can close out the rack and get on your break shot. So it's a difference in mindset. And I think it may seem trivial, but it's an important one.
Now the balls remaining are on the inside, leaving the rails available for me to maneuver the cue ball.
That's kind of true. We do want to shoot perimeter balls. We call it working outside in, shoot the perimeter balls, and then shoot the inside balls. A more accurate way to say that is we want to use perimeter balls to gain access to the center. So an example would have been that if I had shot the 7, which is a perimeter ball, to play position here for the 5, that's using a perimeter ball to gain access to the center. If you say work outside in, it makes it sound like I need to shoot all of the perimeter balls and then shoot the interior balls. And that's not true.
I only have 6 shots left. Obviously, the 4 ball is the best break ball. It's closer to the rack. And the 1 ball is a good key ball for the 4.
I don't agree with that. If you got 2 choices, a choice between this 4 and the 9, I prefer the 9 because it's farther away. And you might think, oh, but it's too high. No, it's perfect. If you're going to shoot the 4 ball break shot, you're hitting the center of the rack and the cue ball's close. You're going to have to do something, execute it really well to not scratch, to control the cue ball. Whereas with the 9 ball, your cue ball's hitting the top of the rack. It's going to back up and go forward or back up and go around the rack. Your risk of scratching is almost 0. You got to really, and I think you have a better opportunity to create the ball dispersion in every direction. So I think the 9's a better break shot. And I would be playing an end pattern. To get on the 9, I would probably be looking at either eliminating these balls and getting the angle on the 3 to just bounce out like that to get on the 9, or eliminating these balls and then probably somehow trying to come up to shoot the 1. Probably want to come up this way to shoot the 1 so that I can bring my cue ball over here. The 11 ball is the other best key ball because it's a pivot ball, and you can just draw up or go to the rail and out to get on the 9 ball break shot. So that's a really cool looking plate of spaghetti I got on the screen right there, but I think you know what I mean.
A stop shot on the 9 on the side gives me a nice stop shot on the 1 ball. A stop shot on the 11 in the other side pocket gives me a stop shot on the 9. And I can use the 14 ball easily to maneuver my cue ball real close to straight in on the 11 ball on the side.
I think that's okay. And notice I said 2 rails, so I want to give myself an angle on the 14 because then I can go 2 rails. It's going to have to be pretty tight in the corner to get the right angle, and that's key. If you don't land real close to straight on that 11 in the side, this pattern is no good. I have a better idea, the one that doesn't require as much precise cue ball control. And I think it's a better idea. You just stun the 5-ball, shoot the 5-ball, stun the cue ball here, send the cue ball 2 rails up here, because now you're going to have a shot on the 11 in the lower left corner. And if you get a low angle on the 11, you can either go to the rail and out to get on the 9, or you can go around the 9 and shoot the 9 in the corner and still get on the 1-ball cue ball in the side pocket. I think you have a lot more margin for error. Now you're traveling the cue ball more than we'd like to see in an end pattern, but that's what we have. The other reason why I like it is if you go this way for the 14, you can end up on the 1. From the 1, you can roll forward easily to the 9. From the 9, you can roll forward just a bit. Then you can shoot the 11 ball. The 11 ball does go past the 4 here, and that's a pivot ball again to get in your break shot, and you just slide the cue ball over here, and you're on the 4-ball break shot. So I think this other way has more options to it.
To ensure that I have a nice angle on the 14 ball to...
Oh, and I didn't come 2 rails out of the corner.
And I came past straight into the side on the 11.
Yeah, because you didn't go 2 rails out of the corner.
Was to go ahead and shoot the 11 anyway, send the cue ball to the bottom rail and up for the 9.
Don't you dare do that. When you have an angle like this into a side, last thing you ever want to do is jam a ball in the side pocket. It's going to rattle. You can do it on your practice table when you're just shooting for funsies, but when you're in a tournament, that becomes a really hard shot. You want heavy hits on your object balls. If you're going to cut a ball like this, you want to be hitting it softly. You want to be rolling it. You can't do that here, so that's not a good shot. If I was going to shoot this now, from this layout, from where the cue ball stopped, I hope that you see it. It's pretty straightforward. I could shoot the 9 ball right now. Then I can get on the 11 as a pivot ball, because I'll have the angle to simply slide the cue ball over here. Shoot the 1 ball in this side pocket as your cue ball. You got to be available. You got to be open to the idea that sometimes it's better to shoot the 1 ball in the opposite side pocket than you were originally thinking. And the reason why is I can get my cue ball over here where I'm a distance away from the 1. So you've got a margin for error. You can cheat the pocket on this one. Now this time you're not jamming it in the pocket. It has a much bigger pocket opening. And no matter what angle you get over here, you're going to be able to either just draw the cue ball back a little bit, or this way, and you're going to get on a good angle for that 4-ball break shot.
In the other corner, and a stop shot on the 11 leads me straight into the 1 ball in the corner. Now this end pass,
I don't like that. It would be better. The stop shot on the 9 is like over here, but you don't want a stop shot because that gives you an outside angle on the 4. You're going to have to draw that cue ball back real precisely so that you can get just a slight angle to slide the cue ball over here. Compare doing that to what I mentioned here, where you get your cue ball here to shoot the 1 on the side. Huge margin of error, not that big, but a huge margin of error for the 1 ball on the side compared to the 1 in the corner. Now, if the 11 ball was here, if the 11 ball was over here more, and you could just play a dead stop shot to have the perfect angle in the corner, that's fine. Or if the 11 ball was up farther and you could take the perfect stop shot for the 1 ball in this side pocket, then you could roll forward for your break shot, and that would be fine. This is one thing I do not miss about the pool halls. Here you are trying to play good pool. You're concentrating as hard as you can, and you get this death metal music rattling out of the speakers. No, thank you.
Oh,
I'm going to replay that. I want you to take another look at that. I mentioned at the beginning of this that my fundamentals have changed a lot. A lot of practice going into those. You'll notice that right now, bent left arm, wrist is outside the cue, not a good position. So those 2 things are huge right there. You see a lot of Q-tip movement as I'm addressing this ball. The other thing, watch my glasses. You can see my glasses sticking out, or watch my head position. You can see where my head is in relation to the rail back here. Watch what happens when I shoot. My glasses are lower, and then, okay, the ball didn't even get to the pocket. The ball was here, and my head moved up, probably like 3 feet. Because I want to go up there and look and see, did I make the ball or not? Boy, that's something. That was my number 1 issue, and I think I've nearly almost eliminated that from my game. Staying still is so important. That was one of my number one issues. So that's a huge change. And you can see also, I overcut the ball. It hit the right point. It's still going to go in. But by overcutting it, my cue balls went that direction, which is the opposite way I want it to go. I want it to go this direction to get on the break shot. So just repeating the reason why the one in the corner in this example wasn't the optimal shot.
Here's an animation of the travel path of the cue ball during this entire rack.
This is really interesting, this layout. I didn't play it in the optimal way, of course, but I did get on a break shot, the 4 ball. I think what I'm going to do next week for Rack of the Week is I'm going to set up these balls again. I'll use my iCat system to set up the balls in the exact same spot. And then I'm going to run this rack a couple of times, a couple of different ways. I'm going to assume that the 13 ball does go, and where I can shoot 7, 13, or maybe just the 13 and nudge these balls and then see how the pattern develops from there. I might also shoot it where I assume that the 13 does not go, and I'm going to shoot the 7, stun forward, and get on the 5 and see how the pattern works itself out from there. I invite you guys to do the same, or leave a comment in the comment section. What pattern do you see that's better than the one that I played? And I'm going to be interested to see what I come up with next week on the Rack of the Week. So stay tuned for that. If you're going to play straight pool, play it straight, and I'll see you next week on Rack of the Week. Bye.